Good morning to everyone out there on YouTube. Welcome back to Futures Trading with Mike. And I just wanted to cover a few trades that I took this morning. So this is pretty much a S&P 500 futures trade breakdown on two trades that I took early part of this morning, just to maybe help someone along out there that may be in question about the trades that I took. All referencing or surrounding supply and demand. So if you're a supply and demand style trader, you found the right channel. I primarily trade the ES futures using a basic strategy, guys, just pulling back to areas of supply and demand and looking for rejections. But and sometimes I'll use a top-down approach, meaning I use multiple time frames or paired charts, meaning I use range style or range-based charts. So I'll use like a 60R, which is a 60 range chart, to give me some bias or direction of the market. And if we tap into a higher time frame supply demand zone, then I'll scale down to a lower time frame chart. Look for a particular setup to take place where if we're tapping into, as an example, to supply on the higher time frame, and then on the lower time frame that I scale down to, I want to see a supply setup as well. But if you are wanting to understand more about that, then there's tons of videos here on the channel. So take the time to go ahead and subscribe to the channel by clicking the sub button down below, that red subscribe button. Make sure to click on the bell next to it and turn your post notifications on so you never miss one of the uploads here on the channel. But let's go ahead and dive into these two trades. They were back-to-back trades that I took on the S&P 500 futures this morning. So what you'll see, basically on the first trade, you'll see the market's been running to the upside. We've been bullish, if we look at the higher time frame, pretty much the last few days here, in March, okay, we're making higher highs and higher lows. That's all I'm saying. You want to look at the higher time frame to kind of give you some reference to what's going on. Are we selling off, or are we trending to the upside? In this case here, we're moving to the upside, making highs, higher lows, higher lows, and making higher highs. Now we're basically tapping into, if you see over here in the area of supply sitting over here on the 60 range chart. So that's why price bounced this morning. You can see that purple line that I have there. It got up to that area there, that zone there on the higher time frame, and rejected. So try not to kind of fight the opposing force in a sense, because you might get ran over if we're at a supply zone and you're looking to basically start buying into the supply zone, then you're fighting against the force, because this was a lot of selling that took place here. And then when we get back up to that area over here, you see they're selling. So what do you think naturally is going to happen? The market is going to pause for one. It's going to be a blockade there, and it's going to probably definitely going to be some rejection when the market's going to want to push a little lower. How low, we don't know. We just trade based on what we see typically taking place with price action. So being that we are making higher highs and higher lows, and we are up here at this area of supply, my second trade was actually a short trade, but I took a quick scalp going long back up to an area of supply that I have marked on my 12 range chart. Now this box you see right here, that blue box, that is supply. Okay, and we're going to talk about that setup. So basically to the overnight session, going into the day session, once New York opened up, we had the market running higher, of course, so we are making higher highs, higher lows on the higher time frame and the lower time frame, okay? So what I saw taking place here was price making higher highs and higher lows and pulling back first. It's my first trade, okay, to an area basically of where there was demand at prior to, okay? Price rejecting that area, but I noticed we had supply right above it, okay? Why? Because we had price push up, pull back, make a little high here, then it broke lower, okay, before it moves higher and breaking structure to the upside, okay? Then it folds. What does it do? It re-breaks structure to the downside, meaning taking out this low right here at 40.18 and a quarter. Now, once it did that, I'll mark a key area of supply resting right here. Supply is aggressive selling coming out of a swing area to the downside. We have it right here. Price pushes down, pulls back, breaks lower, takes out what I consider at this point here off the 12 range chart, which is a major low here, okay? All right, and it's also structure. So it breaks structure, leaving behind an area of supply. Now, again, my first trade was long because as we move lower with the selling, we tapped into a previous area of demand, okay? I told myself if we got the rejection, meaning close or break of a candle in the opposite direction to the upside, that I would go long, taking price back to what? To the key area of supply above. All right. So I got the setup there, tapping into a prior area of demand, rejected it. I went long right here, taking it back up to this area of supply. My overall prize, or what I was really waiting for, the target was to take the trade on the flip side going short, because we were also had confluence with the higher time frame where there was a lot of pressure to the downside, because a few days ago, I believe, let's see what it was on the higher time frame, maybe March 15th. Oh no, back on March the 8th, you see over here, this was a supply zone. So there was a lot of selling that took place there, as I just talked about. We retraced back to that area. So again, you don't want to be taking trades really going long when you're already tapped into a major area of supply off of a higher time frame. I only went long because we were on a lower time frame. We tapped into a prior area of demand, and I saw right above we had supply. My overall goal was to reach this area just to flip the trade to go short, and that's what I did. First trade long, back to the supply. We got back to supply up here. Once we're into this area of supply, why is it supply? Because of aggressive selling to the downside. Once you tap into that zone, what are you looking for? A break of a candle in the opposite direction. Now, you may be able to get into it a little bit sooner if you scale down to an even lower time frame chart. That would be, for me, like a full range chart. Maybe if you're a time-based chart and this was your 5-minute chart, in comparison, maybe you want to scale down to a 1-minute chart. For me, I'm scaling down to a full range chart, but I didn't do so here. Basically, if you do that, it may help you out once you tap into that area of supply to get into a little bit better price area to take your short. Again, we're tapping into supply here. We're above a high volume area. I always talk about selling the highs and buying the lows. In this case here, we're selling the top end of our volume profile area, and the aim is really to take it back down to this area of liquidity that it created, which is a low right here. Okay, taps into supply, get a break of a candle in the opposite direction, take it short, trying to aim for or target the area of liquidity below, and possibly down here. A lot of people like to trade down to the VWAP, which is the volume weighted average price indicator. That's the VWAP, and you can see that it actually came all the way down to the VWAP. So I just wanted to kind of show you, maybe someone that's struggling with supply and demand, trying to get a grasp on, how it actually works. Okay, first, what you want to see, number one, is a break of structure. You have to have a break of structure. Okay. And that be breaking a major area of a high or a low. In this case here, we got a break of structure to the downside, like I said, when we took out a major low. So then you go ahead and mark your supply zone and just wait patiently for price to get back to it. The second part really is we want to see a gap or imbalance in the market back at the area of supply. In this case here, where I took my short at. Okay. This was the supply zone. If you look, there was an imbalance here from the bottom end of that green candle to the bottom end of that red candle. Well, let's say this candle here, the bottom of that red candle. There was an imbalance right here. Okay, so if I drew that, I'll just take these I'll take this arrow line right here just to show you. Say right here to right here. There's an imbalance there. So you have multiple means of confirmation. It taps into a higher time frame supply area. We have a lower time frame supply, and as well we have a gap or imbalance resting right here. So when price gets there, naturally you can look for that rejection to take your opportunity to go short, and that's what I did, back down to the area of liquidity below. Okay, so it's pretty simple if you just understand the process or the concepts of what the banks or the institutions are trying to do. Okay, but you have to be able to understand and be able to look at what's going on as far as market structure, the global perspective or the global picture. Basically, maybe you want to scale in, scale out on your charts to kind of get an overall view of what's been taking place over maybe the last few days or just within a current session sometimes. But you have to be able to do that. Okay, but outside of that, that's all I wanted to do in this video, was to just talk about those two trades and to really key or define and zoom in on two areas that I took trades from. So lots of times you can tap into, you'll see a setup to where you have a demand zone and you can take it back to a supply zone that may be able to create it above, or vice versa. You may be coming out of an area pushing to the downside was breaking structure, creating an area of supply, and below it you notice that there is an untapped area of demand. So you can take those trades, to and from. But that's all I have for you guys in this video. If you're interested in joining our Discord community, and those 2 trades I posted over on our Discord community. Our Discord community, we have over 1,000 members now, and we're growing by the day. And basically, we have 2 channels on there, the general chat channel, and then we have the trading floor. The trading floor is where we come together as traders on a daily, talking about the trades we take and share screenshots of our entries, as I did this morning. So you can find tons of individuals on there or members in the community that share their trade entries, and we found that that helps lots of individuals because it identifies areas where people have taken trades from, and then you can go back and study it as a reference point, okay? Now, the general chat is if you are a futures trader and you have general questions about futures markets, or anything tied to or pertaining to the future markets, then, feel free to ask. No question is a dumb question. We all started from somewhere, so that's the thing about anything and everything we do in life. It's a learning process, so no question is stupid, no question is dumb. It's all fair game, and if you have a question, please throw it out there and someone will answer. Even if I don't, someone may have the answer, okay? And not all or one person has the answer to everything. So I'll leave you with that, guys. I appreciate everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Again, if you are currently watching this or you're not a sub, please take the time to go ahead and click on that red button down below. Subscribe to the channel as well. Everyone across the board, do me a favor and drop a like on the video. I appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.